Today, we are taking a visit to this place whereby you tell people, "Aiyah, go fly kite," and they really come. So we are at Lentor. Uncle,
NANI?
去 Lentor. This is exactly the same as yeah, you guys know how I feel about Lentor, right? Episode today is Bernard is trying to tell me what? Disclaimer, this video is recorded out of my own personal capacity and all these judgments I passed are purely that of my own opinions. Whether you're in the market to look for a property or not, you would have heard about this new big township called Lentor. People are talking about all its pluses, like how it is bound for success, you have to be in there for a first mover advantage, how this new township is going to set record prices, and how you can easily flip on this money-making opportunity. But do you not want to hear the other side of the story? Today we are here at Lentor Mansion show flat. The topic today is Bernard is trying to change my mind about Lentors. I came here with many questions unanswered. What he's trying to say is that the population supporting this is not that big. Yeah, but there's 5 more. Now, I'm an owner and I want to come in right now. I have to go and spend 3 years to rent somewhere else first. Yeah, you help us understand. My top 3 questions that I wanted answered were HDB first, upgraders go in, the condos start.
Then
so there is
the private later.
Yeah, so they upgrade. Okay, so the problem that I foresee over here is that down here is a reverse. Upgraders normally have their first pot of gold, I would say, so they will be able to sort of upgrade more easily, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but over here you are seeing Teachers Estate, you're seeing the landed enclave. The downgraders are more likely to go into something like this to have their...
Yes, we also have a lot of downgraders here.
Correct, but in terms of numbers wise, it will not be as big a population.
Still back to the question.
3 years, yeah,
3
can
years
you
if I
exit?
want to exit.
Even if you come back into this 1 year later, you probably won't miss much. Maybe 3 years you will miss something. But you think still got stock, and will it be cheaper than what it is now? People have tried giving me similar case studies in the past. Yeah, but Jurong, the township is a lot more mature. So if you're talking about entry, exit, 3 years, I can see possibly you can. Down here, if you talk about a 3 years timeline, the construction is going to take 3 years. But none of this comes close to how Lentor was being built. Most of these townships were built in the standard SOP format. 80% of the population there started from HDBs first, and then private was introduced as a further 20%. And eventually, there will be a portion of these HDB upgraders upgrading into the private segments in these areas. But the reverse happens in Lentor, where the on-us is passed on to the developers to raise the profile of this new township. And to entice this, the unusual move of releasing the most prime land was done first. But with a pipeline supply of 40,000 coming up, 18,000 of which remains unsold, and you will find 5,000 of these new homes in Lentor. In my humble opinion, I find the closest comparison to this township would be the Hillview area, where for the longest time people were losing more money than they were making money. No doubt in the long run, in the entire Singapore context, we will make money on our properties. Just based off the Pareto principle of 80-20 between the HDB and the private property crowd, you can tell me that the landed people over here are going to downgrade into these properties. Yes, I'll believe you, but it's whether or not that demand is enough to satiate the supply that's coming on. But that doesn't refute my point of maybe 3 years is not the benchmark you should set for this.
Yeah,
it could have, it
could
may be longer.
TOP or
Yeah, if you have a 3 years timeline, then don't. Because the construction you see here, I don't think you're going to stay here. It's a own state product. It's a product, it's fine. I think the developers already have the answer to this. You don't. Lentor is only a small snippet of what's coming up in the entire master planning in the northeast region. Because to exit on a township of such scale, this township is going to take a lot longer than 3 years to mature. I think it is important to still have a number of upgraders who will consider going to places like this. Owner-occupiers who simply love the location, then one of the projects you can be considering would be Lentor Mansion. Only if you can accept a medium to long-term hold on your property, then continue to watch on. Lentor Mansion is the first project in Singapore to have embraced the Harmonization Rule. TLDR, it just means that the developer can no longer sell you unusable space. But what is clearer than my future is that the developers did not even attempt to build one-bedders, instead concentrated on the owner-occupiers crowd. which demanded for space efficiencies. It's 700多leh for 3-bedroom leh. You see before? I also never. You see this?
You go and see the wall.
You don't have that ledge. You know, like usually you have a very thick ledge. Yeah, so they remove it so you cannot have floor to ceiling windows. You will feel the difference in this room. You have your AC ledge outside and then you don't have thick wall. As well as quality. Luxury.
You really need one more
luxury is like this, bro.
See the sliding door.
Am I trying to convince you or are you trying to convince me? Can you play the role? 不要 reverse role 可以吧？ No doubt, if not for the location, I find that this is really one of the best products that I've seen so far. She's so dead set on a very good salesperson. She's doing sales.
Yeah. She's supposed to sell this one.
Yeah, she is selling a product, so she has to do this. Let's go to Lentoria. Sounds like Ayam Penyet place. I can make anything high class sound low class. After you go to Lentor Mansion, the vibe here is like so different from. I have to talk very soft because people can. He just said that's it. It is a very good comparison, you know. How much is Lentoria starting price?
I think about 1,009 plus.
Okay lah, 200 PSF. You can do a lot of ID work with it.
This is the studio unit.
No lah, they draw one eh.
They cut out the kitchen to show you.
You need a lot of imagination. Let's do proper one. This is 3-bedroom premium. This one looks like a proper unit. You want to play bowling? What?
Real proper
This one don't need imagination. The difference is whether you want the exterior nice or the interior nice. If you want the interior nice, you save the $200 per square foot difference, spend the 200,000 on ID to make the interior nice, but the exterior you cannot change. The only real reason why someone would want to enter into Lentor right now is really because of choice. And if you're really one of those downgraders, I mean, you will appreciate a product like this because there hasn't been any good new launches in the last 10 years in this district. After visiting the show flat, I'm not exactly 100% convinced that Lentor is really the place to be if you want to flip your investment in 3 years. That's not something within a reasonable timeline. I have something like this would cost you at least 5 to 8 years minimally to be able to exit with a potential, good upside in hand. But I am kind of convinced that there are good products that you can consider over here if you're choosing to hold this for the much longer term for own stay. There is some sort of profit you can capitalize on a first mover advantage, for example, but you've got to be really selective in terms of what you're trying to buy over here and what type of attributes the unit have that will look attractive to owner-occupiers later on. That's all I conclude for today's visit to Lentor. I am still about maybe 60% in there about Lentor, so prove me otherwise. And this is Mama Ju. You're watching House Hunt with Ju, helping you make better real estate decisions today. Okay, thanks, bye!